you going to do that? How often are you going to study? How many times are you going to go to the library? That sort of thing. And then I have some students who say, I also, in addition to getting a 4.0, I want to win a hot dog eating contest. Awesome. So make sure that you are planning for that and figuring out how you want to achieve those goals, whatever they may be. We'll talk to you about that and figure out how you can achieve those goals. So those are some of the things that we do in our program. We get to know all of our scholars really well on a first-name basis. We have just about 600 scholars in our program this year. Last year we had 1,300 applications and we accepted about 150 students, and about 100 of those students actually came to the University of Akron. So we get to know our students really, really well, make sure that you have a community. Again, wherever you decide to go to college, we just want to make sure that you find support. That is the most important thing when you go to college and being successful, is finding that support, okay? So, in terms of applying for our scholarship, you do not have to be accepted to the University of Akron to apply to the scholarship. In order to receive the scholarship, you do have to eventually be accepted into the University of Akron. So, Martha and I encourage you, make sure that you apply to the scholarship, even if you don't know if you're going to go to the University of Akron. Maybe we're not your top choice, that's totally fine. Apply to the scholarship, see if you get accepted, and then maybe you can weigh that against your other options as well. Our application becomes available November 1st. We have pamphlets, and we'll hand those out in a second when we do our Q&A. There is no ACT or GPA requirement for our scholarship. So when you see our brochure, open it up, take a look at our big group photo. Our scholars, as Martha mentioned, are very diverse. We have non-trads, we have veterans in our program. We have students who've gotten a 16 on the ACT. We have students who've gotten a 33 on the ACT. We have a whole wide range because we want to make sure that everyone has the opportunity to get this scholarship. As Martha mentioned, folks getting STEM degrees is important for you as an individual, but also your family, your communities, and this nation, so that we can continue to transform our lives and our culture. So we want to make sure that everyone has that opportunity. Hardworking Northeast Ohio students, we want to make sure that you all have the opportunity to go to school and do great things and get a great degree. So make sure that you apply and make sure that you get that information. If you have any questions, we're more than happy to answer those. In addition, you only have to be an Ohio resident, okay? So as long as you're an Ohio resident and you are enrolled full time in your first year, you're eligible for our scholarship, okay? Yeah, the money. That's pretty important too. So college is expensive. We offer a $5,000 scholarship. It is renewable up to 5 years. So that's about half the cost of tuition, okay? So as long as you are going to our events, you're meeting with your retention specialist, we also do progress checks as well. So when you are in your classes, you get to know your professors, ask them how you're doing, and then you turn those into us. As long as you're doing all the requirements of the scholarship, you'll continue to get that $5,000 every year, okay? I can't believe I forgot the most important part. Well, one of the most important parts. The support is really the important part. So, with that being said, we're going to go ahead and pass out our brochures, and we'll take any questions that you may have for us or for Brittany in terms of the admissions process.
If you pop your hand up, I'll come over so that we can all hear your question if you have that.
Who's got a question?
And so then my next trick is that I'll go up to you and I'll put this mic in your face and we'll wait for you to ask a question. Make me run.
Can you repeat the scholarship that you said doesn't have a GPA requirement and the ACT requirement?
That's Martha and I. It's the Choose Ohio First Scholarship Program. We have a brochure. We're passing out brochures right now. We don't have an ACT or GPA requirement. Our students are very diverse. So you do need to take the ACT to be admitted to the University of Akron. So make sure that you are taking the ACT if you haven't already. I believe there's a date coming up really soon. You can talk to your principals, your counselors about that. But no, there is no ACT or GPA requirement for our program. Application becomes available November 1st. Apply early. We do an early award in around December. So if you apply in November, you could find out as soon as December, around Christmas time, if you receive the scholarship. If you don't receive the scholarship in that first early award, our next round is in March. So you would know before you were matriculating through the University of Akron. And then even if you don't receive the scholarship before you graduate from high school, if you come to the University of Akron, you can still be eligible for the scholarship. All you have to do is reapply, and the next year we have current students apply every year, and they can get the scholarship in sophomore, junior, or senior year.
I know 36 is like a good ACT score. What's like an excellent SAT score?
I'm going to be terrible. I actually don't know how to answer that question. Can you? I'm just going to say this. The majority of students in the state of Ohio do usually take the ACT, so that's typically what I work with. So I'm sorry. I will give this over to David.
We get this question a lot when we do recruiting visits for Choose Ohio First. The best score is the score that you're comfortable with, I would say. A lot of places, like I know for honors at the University of Akron, you need a 27 to be admitted. So the highest score that you can get, where are my juniors in the room? Okay, keep your hands up if you've taken the ACT at least once. Ooh, okay, all right. So this year, make sure you're taking the ACT at least twice, okay? Take your ACT at least twice. 3 times is good. Your score is not really going to change that much, at least that is what research shows. Your score doesn't change that much between your second and third time, but by all means, take it a third time if you feel it would help. But take it at least twice in your junior year, and shoot for the highest score possible, because one point could make a big difference between $5,000 and getting no money. If you are applying to an honors college, sometimes you have to get a 27 to be admitted. So if you get a 26, they won't even consider you for that. A lot of other scholarships, you need maybe a 25, a 24. It just depends. So you just want to work your hardest, do your best, and then once you've taken that second or third time, and you see your score's not really changing that much, start applying. A lot of scholarships like ours don't have a minimum. So there's no real, answer to your question, but just do the best you can.
I'll add to, and I apologize, I usually have this with me. There's a really nifty tool that you'll be able to find anywhere online. It's a ACT, SAT equivalent chart, and what they do is they've actually broken down what you score on the ACT to what the equivalent would be on the SAT. And you can just Google that and it'll come right up. And usually I have it on hand with me, but I apologize, I don't actually have it today. And I will say the highest you can score on an SAT is 1,800. And that's including everything. So there's writing, SAT, there's writing, critical math and reading, and science. Sorry. Hopefully that kind of answers your question. Yeah.
Okay, I have a very specific question.
Sure.
You guys offer the fast track for NeoMed, right?
We do.
Do you offer dual programs where they can get additional bachelor's degrees in addition to the fast track program, or is it just the fast track?
Okay, just making sure I understand your question. Okay, so you're asking, in addition to doing like the NeoMed program, are they getting a bachelor's degree?
Can they get additional ones?
Can they like add on to the one additional one? Okay, so that question is, I think it's going to be specific to which NeoMed program you're looking at. I think the most popular NeoMed program we have at the University of Akron is the BSMD program. And for those of you guys who don't know what the BSMD program is, that's an accelerated medical degree program. So you come to the University of Akron, or Kent State, or Youngstown, and you go there for 3 years, and then you would go directly into medical school. Typically, I think that is something you would actually want to connect with NeoMed about. While they're still a student at the University of Akron, they're ultimately going to be ending up at NeoMed. And they might have some input on how much pressure that will be on the student, just because they're already taking a very heavy course load and they're going year-round. Typically, they are going through the summer too. I know students who are doing the BSMD program and looking to go into honors, sometimes honors is even a little bit too much. It just depends on the student, and it might be something the student can easily do, but that's something that I would actually connect with NeoMed about. And we do have some other programs that we work with NeoMed too. We have a pharmacy program we work with NeoMed for, and we also have some other stuff too. So if you have any questions about that, I can get you information, or NeoMed can do that as well. Good question. Yeah, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
I don't want to put myself out there like that, but like my ACT score is not like in the 30s or whatever, but it's like in the 20s. So like, is there still like hope for me to get scholarship money and stuff like that?
No worries. My ACT was in the low 20s, so I'll put myself out there like that. So to get considered for a scholarship at Akron, you're looking for around a 21 ACT. Last year, our underrepresented scholarship required only a 20. So I think you're in good shape. Just make sure if you have a chance, maybe try and retake it, because as David mentioned earlier, that 1 point can actually make a difference of how much money you do get. And if you have questions too, let me know. I do tell some students, you know, I did mention that most of the students in the state of Ohio that I work with, most of them are working with the ACT, but sometimes students do find that they do better on the SAT. They test 2 different parts of the brain, so I hear, and they're set up very differently. So some students actually perform better on the SAT as opposed to the ACT or vice versa. So if you're looking to really boost your score, maybe the ACT is not doing it, that's an option too. So it sounds like based off of what you're saying, you should qualify for something. It'll depend on GPA too.
Okay, what is the highest degree that I could receive in aerospace through the STEM program?
So if you're looking at our aerospace systems engineering degree, you must be automatically accepted into the honors program. So you have to be accepted in the honors program because the aerospace systems engineering program is very competitive. So as long, even the students, if you fall below that 3.8 GPA, they will encourage you to change your major into different engineering because the aerospace systems, the word systems in there, that's a really competitive program. And so you will graduate with honors and in that program as well. We do have a few students. That program is very small, very specific to aerospace, so it's not a huge program, but it is a very competitive program. Did that answer your question?
How would I get accepted into the honors?
Yep.
To be accepted into the honors program, you're automatically considered if you meet the GPA and ACT score requirements, which is a 27 and a 3.5. Did that answer your question okay? Perfect. Hi there.
What kind of scholarship do you guys offer ESL students?
For ESL students, that's a good question. All of that information, I feel bad because I can't see you. All of that information will be on our financial aid website. I'll give you my card as well. That's something that the underrepresented scholarship would cover. So if that's something, you have to write an essay with that, that's something that I would mention in there because that definitely makes you a unique student to be coming to the University of Akron.
If you were to guess, how much would you say? Like in a higher, like full ride kind of going?
No, it's not quite like that. It's actually a range depending on your application. And we actually have a team. Are you guys on that? Oh, I wasn't sure because I know there's other people in the conferences. So what they do is we actually have like a scholarship committee that will go through and read every application, and they will select amounts that way. So it's really just going to depend, and I think it ranges anywhere from $1,000 to $3,500, if I'm remembering correctly. And then that would be combined with any scholarship you get just by applying by March 1st. And then there's other scholarships by majors, and then a lot of our academic departments have different scholarships too. So there's definitely a lot of ways to get additional aid.
I have another question.
Sure.
Do you guys offer any special scholarships for African American male going into the nursing field?
Oh, that's a good question. That would be through our nursing program. I know they have some very specified nursing scholarships, and there might be one that is geared towards that. I have contact information for the nursing program. Her name is Marcy Tamaiko. I'll give it to you. She can get you in the right direction. She's awesome to work with. She's one of my favorite people on campus, so I'm happy to share that.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Anyone else?
What do you have to do to get into like the internship or co-op programs? Like, do you have to have special requirements to get in those?
So a lot of that's going to depend on where you're wanting to do your internship and co-op. So depending on your major too, there is always some confusion about co-oping and internship, and a lot of that phrase is interchangeable, but like engineering and business talk use it more as a co-oping term as opposed to internship. So just to clear that up. So some places will have requirements of a certain ACT score, certain GPA for them to consider you as an applicant. Other places you're gonna work directly with them and set it up on your own. So it's kind of case by case. And what's nice is we have your academic advisor on campus, and then you have also our career center, and they can assist you with finding different places that are gonna be a good fit for you depending on what you ultimately wanna do. What major are you looking at?
Psychology.
Okay, I was actually going to use that as an example, but I was going to ask. So psychology is a very broad field, and what's kind of nice about going into that is your internship is what can really make you stand out from other applicants. So let's say ultimately in psychology you want to work with on a more counseling field. So what they would do is they would maybe give you opportunity or give you options. So we've had students who have gone to these places and who have done internships at these places. Do any of these align with what you ultimately want to do? Some students who do psychology want to do more business route, and they'll have people and companies that are looking for students who are majoring in that. So it's going to kind of maybe depend on what you think you want to do, and if you have somewhere in mind that you want to, where you want to do your internship. We've had students come in and say, I want to do my internship at this company, or my dad owns this company, can I do my internship here? So there's different ways and different options. Now, like the bigger places, like we've had students who do internships with like NBC or MTV. Those places are going to be very competitive to get an internship in, and then they're going to have maybe different requirements. So like I said, it ultimately ends up with what you want to do. So hopefully that wasn't too broad, but it gives you an idea. And your academic advisor can give you some more information on that. Anybody else?
Okay, well, right now, we want to, again, thank you very much for coming out and speaking to us. And we're going to take this opportunity now to transition, and that is for those camp students. You're going to follow Mrs. Bruner over to the All City Grill. So that's camp students and parents, and our early college students, which all of you are, but the other students will just stay back here so that I can say a few words to you, and then those students will be dismissed. That'll give University of Akron time to go ahead and get their things together, and they're going to be meeting you back over in Old City Grill. As soon as you get there, enjoy some of the refreshments that we have, and we'll get these folks over so that you can have your mixing time. Thank you.
Let's head over to the grill.
So, what? I have all the camp students that have already left, and I'm just going to say to this group, there's a little bit of time now for you to go ahead and gather any additional information that you may need over to the side. You can fill out the little card so that you can get information. Keep in mind that Akron and Kent want to form partnerships with us. Kent has been on board since last year. Akron, they're working more closely with us right now, and this is building a pathway for you, for the future. So the idea behind this is that you guys get a heads up as to all the things that are necessary so that you'll be eligible for the scholarships and the specialized programs that they have and stuff so that you're informed. So I guess the biggest thing that you can take away from this are the things that I've been harping on, and that has been your GPA is very powerful. We try to tell you that that is paramount, that is key. irregardless of what you may hear from other folks, you're hearing this directly from the colleges that are looking at the applications and the scholarships that you'll be approved for based on the two things that they get to see, because they're looking at everybody that's applying to their school. So the only thing that they have as a standard measure would be your GPA and the standardized test, ACT or SAT. So that's what they go off of. So once you meet the requirements for those two, then they start to dig a little deeper. The nice thing that we're going to be able to do is we're going to be able to give them all of your names for everybody that's applied to the schools. So those schools that you applied to, I'm going to be sending your information to them so that they have your name, and that team, unlike any other school in Canton or Ohio, they're going to be looking at your name from the early college/camp program, and they're going to try to fix, or what they call stack scholarships, to make it so it's best for you. Okay? But the thing that you got to help us out with is that you got to look at getting, I would love to see a 30 ACT, but you got to get that 25 benchmark or higher. The higher you get, the better it's going to be for you as far as stackable scholarships, because then you get their internal ones, like their presidential scholarship, their merit scholarship, and so on. So there are other things in there that, from sponsors of the school, like past graduates or whatever, that makes it so you're eligible for that money, because they want students like you. The other big draw is if you're involved. Okay, so don't, take that or cast that out. Two of the biggest things that really help out too, your involvement as far as the service learning piece, and if you do internships. Okay, so those are powerful things. All right, so I know that those things we really help camp out with the students that are part of that, but we can also help out all of early college by having them do the service learning piece and giving you opportunities to look at some of the internships that may be available. So keep those things in mind, and the big thing, like I said, GPA and working on improving in an ACT and SAT test. Okay? Thank you guys very much for coming out to this. Next month we'll have Malone and we'll have Mount Union here. We do have Walsh setting up something with us. We don't know when we're going to be able to schedule that school in, but it's coming soon. So that takes care of the local 5, and we're going to start reaching out more to some of the other schools in the Northeast Ohio area to set up something special for you guys. That back table, that information back there was just different literature that has gone out about the new graduation requirements. You got to pay attention to that. Okay. Also, what the state is doing as far as the requirements they're putting on the colleges and universities. Colleges are now going to be paid or receive federal funds, a lot more federal funds, based on the number of students that meet the set graduation requirement. That means finishing school in 4 years. You guys give these schools a 2-year jump, if you see what I mean, because you're taking care of 2 years right off the bat, but make it worthwhile. And the other myth or lie that I want to stomp down right now is this one. Your college credits transfer. Take your schedule that we give you of your courses from freshman to senior year. Look at the end of those college courses. If they are tag labeled THE or OTM labeled, they transfer to any college or university. Why is it difficult? Why are we hearing bad things about some of the other students? They forget to take their syllabus with them, and they don't know what they were taught in those classes, because they can call something college algebra, and then they change the name to pre-calc. But if they see that you were taught the same thing, those credits will transfer over. But you got to have a syllabus there to go ahead and argue your point. So what I want to do is step into the freshman classes and sophomore classes to give them a binder so that they will keep all of their syllabi from freshman year all the way through the senior year. And what we want to do as a backup, I believe Mrs. Turner's pushing this. She wants to put all of these out online so that you can, if you forget yours, you can draw on those. But trust yourself. Keep your stuff so that you can argue your point. Okay? for transferring credits. You got to advocate for yourself. You got to be your own best advocate. Okay? So that's what's going to help you out. High GPA, keep the syllabus and stuff like that, all your syllabi, and work on that standardized test which measures you against everybody else nationwide. All right? I talk too much. So if you want to get information over there, if they collect it up, you can go back there and get information. Thank you for attending. You're free to go.
I cannot let you in if you don't have an adult, so. Okay. Oh, okay. Is this yours?